Dream Quest Productions presents Wine Trails, on the road to discover the finest, most unusual, most romantic wineries in the world. Southern California's high desert is famous for its hot, dry region and slithering creatures. However, nestled up against the Mojave Desert is a wine trail of history and mystique. Our first destination is the Tehachapi Wine and Cattle Company Souza Family Vineyard, just outside the little town of Tehachapi, which is a little over 115 miles from Los Angeles. Situated on a dirt road, the property used to be a stagecoach stop during the early 20th century. Now, for over 10 years, Bob Souza has been the proud owner working to preserve and continue its proud history.
Yeah, the Wells Fargo stage stopped right out there where the front gate is. Right about 1900, it was from Arvin to Mojave. You know, that's about 40 miles. I bet it took a couple days or more. And they did stop here. And yes, Elijah Stoll, he allowed for that. He didn't charge them. He let them comfort stop the people and the horses. Would they have had to stay for any length of time? They would have stayed here.
Not only that, it has a wonderfully romantic past.
The Stoll House, as it's called, it's a very small house. It's under 1,400 square feet. Was the only wooden building in Cummings Valley in 1888 when it was built. It was built as a condition of a marriage proposal. Elijah Augustus Stoll proposed marriage to Chloe Bright, whose father was the original white settler in Bright Valley. White meaning non-Indian. They were Chumash and Kawayasu Indian here. And Elijah proposed marriage to Chloe, who was then 15 and he was 33. And John Moore Bright, his father-in-law to be, said, "You can marry my daughter, but you got to build her a house, and she got to be 16. And they settled on that, and he married her on her birthday after building this house.
Bob and his wife Patty bought the property and planted the vineyard a little over 10 years ago. It was the first vineyard in Tehachapi's 150-year-old agricultural history.
This field was what they call fallow. Nothing grown on this field for about 85 years. We used to land skydivers here for barn dances. It was an empty field. And the wife said, "You know what, honey, why don't we try something? You know, let's try putting in a vineyard." And I said, "Sure, why not?" And that pretty much was close to our extent of research and development. So it was quite providential and really a leap of faith. I think at the end of the day, you could even say it was pretty foolish because we have no experience. This is the first vineyard in the history of Tehachapi. No one grown grapes here.
The vines they chose came from Tuscany, Italy, a region known for its world-class vines.
This one here is called Primitivo. The second section up there is Sauvignon Blanc. That's somewhat of an experiment. We expect our first crush this next season for that one. These are produced 6 times. And this is a Primitivo Zinfandel, sometimes referred to as High Mountain Zin. Our vineyard happens to sit 4,000 feet above sea level. The mother plant in Tuscany is about 5,000 feet above sea level. Interesting enough, Tuscany's latitude is the same as Tehachapi. We only speak Italian in the vineyard because they think they're in Italy and we don't want them to know otherwise. Va bene.
At first, no one would think of buying wine from Tehachapi. But now the region has become a first-class producer of fine vintages.
This is prime growing area. Proof of which is we've had 6 harvests, competed every one of them at the international level, and won 5 medals. So 5 out of 6 years, we've had medal-winning wine at the world level. That's remarkable for somebody as small as we are.
In addition to producing wine, the property is the site for many special events.
We do cowboy poetry gatherings. We do hay rides and barn dances. We've done 11 fundraisers this year, 11. We do an awful lot of event type things. Most of them are donated. Most of them are charitable type things, you know. But I think, you know, it's maybe it sounds a little corny, but I think the thing is, we're really proud of the fact that we're blessed with the opportunity to share what's here.
In fact, the winery itself has become a destination that some consider to be a second home.
The people that work with us here are our family, their extended family. They take it real seriously. They've supported us from the very beginning, and the community. We think, we're not sure, but we think we fulfilled a niche market that we didn't even know existed in Tehachapi. And we pride ourselves, if you just look right up there, it says when you're here, your family. And our customers, right here, they will tell you that. They don't leave here without a hug. We listen to them. We actually develop products because it's what they want, not what we want. We don't foist things on them they don't want. But I think at the end of the day, we operate more like a European pub than we do like a tasting room. Tasting rooms tend to be laboratory-like and sterile environments. We're not like that. Our family that's here working recognizes that. The people who come in here want to know if they're working certain days, then they'll come in and see them. They have their own following. We're just absolutely blessed in that regard. And I think that's a huge part of why we've succeeded to this point. There's two things different about us than there is about most of the wineries in California. Bear in mind, all 50 states in the United States make wine now, all 50 states. California produces 90% of all the wine in America. We're in California. What makes us different? Yeah, we're kind of a little winery at the end of the road. We're the little engine that could. We're the first licensed wine operation in the 150-year agricultural history of this town. And the town has responded phenomenally supporting us. Not just coming out once or twice, not referring once or twice, but a bunch of times. And what's made us different is that whole basic dynamic. We're just a little bit different. We're more pub-like. We're sort of the Zinfandel version of Cheers, which would make me coach, I guess. I don't know who Ted Danson guy is. But we're different. People come in here. I had a gentleman come in about a month ago when he walked in the door and he said, my second step in the door, I felt it. Whatever it was, but that's what we're blessed with.
The Tehachapi Wine and Cattle Company Souza Family Vineyards, a special, unique destination on the quest for great wine. Our next stop on this wine trail is about 60 miles southeast of Tehachapi, on a dusty corner of Lancaster. The Antelope Valley Winery and the Donato Family Vineyards is an oasis in the middle of the wind-blown sagebrush of the high desert. Cindy Donato, who's managing partner for the family, says the business is quite literally a dream come true.
Our winery was born out of a desire from my husband to be in the business of growing grapes and making wine. His family came from Calabria, Italy, and they had vineyards at one time, and it was just a lifelong dream of his to have a winery and vineyard, and I helped him make that dream come true.
To some, Lancaster might seem like an unlikely place to find a vineyard, but this is not the first time grapes have been grown in the area.
The Antelope Valley has some history with wine grape growing, especially years back pre-Prohibition. The problem was that the industry wasn't quite developed enough at the time of Prohibition for it to survive that. So really what we did here was actually have a resurgence of a past history. This is an extremely rich growing area for all types of alfalfa, carrots. It's very fertile ground. It's always been known for agriculture and livestock and sheep herding. Very rich history in that area, and what we did about 28 years ago is just revive that old wine growing, winemaking tradition that had been lost years past.
Over the past 28 years, the family has worked hard to promote winemaking in the region.
One of the things that we were hopeful of doing when we started our winery was to create a wine trail. We don't want to be the only person around here. We want people to be able to come to our region. We're very interested in being part of growing this region. So we have a nice little wine trail going, and we're trying to support the growth of not only vineyards but tasting rooms in our region.
According to winemaker Dave Davis, making great wine has everything to do with growing great grapes.
We try to manage a number of things as we watch what's going on. So we want to control vine vigor by manipulating water, manipulating canopies and leaf and shoot pulling, and get the fruits and what we hope is the optimal amount of sun so that we get good phenolic development in the grapes. Our biggest problem here is we're a region 5, so we have a lot of GDDs, and we have to control that. Sugar rises very quickly, and that becomes the overarching problem. Is the grapes mature very quickly, and so we're usually harvesting by the middle of August, sometimes late August at best, because of the way the speed with which they mature. So we have to sort of fit ourselves into that problem, and everything else we do is an attempt to do the best we can within those limiting factors.
Over the years, the winery has become known for a wide variety of wines.
Our winery has always been known mostly for the red wines we produce. People really enjoy our Cabernet Sauvignon. The Tempranillo, of course, is very different, our Malbec. Since we're a small winery, we do small lots. Our wine club is interested in trying new wines all the time, and a lot of them are very interested in red. So we try to do small lots, Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, we did Cabernet Franc, Sangiovese, different things, so that the wine club is exposed to different wine. In general, people who like sweet wine are pretty much ignored in our industry, or considered second-class citizens, and we don't do that. We know that there are people that enjoy sweet, fruity wines, so we have also concentrated on making sure that we have a niche for those people who like sweet wines. And in our wine club, very unusual, in addition to having a red wine club and a mixed wine club, we also have a sweet wine club, and we have a lot of members that like sweet wine, and we continue to make that. So I think that sets us apart in that we do the serious reds, we do the Chardonnays and the serious whites, but we also really respect the segment of our population that likes a sweeter variety of wine.
Consistently, the winery wins some of winemaking's most coveted awards.
Our most recent award-winning wines, our Tempranillo won a double gold, and we're really proud of that. Tempranillo seems to grow well in our region. A lot of things grow well in our region, but Tempranillo really loves the soil and the climate. That grape variety is grown quite a bit in Spain. So for some reason, it seems that we are having success with that as well. And also our estate wine, we've gotten some really nice awards on recently, and that's a blend of the 3 wines. Sometimes we'll make a Sangiovese Merlot and Zinfandel blend, and that also does very well.
In addition to wine, the Antelope Valley Winery offers a wide assortment of wine-related items.
In addition to wine, in our gift shop here, we sell a variety of cheeses and meats that complement the wine, and a lot of nice wine accessories that people are interested in. And also we do sell buffalo and other game and exotic meats here.
The property has also become a popular destination in the region.
Along with wanting to participate in growing the region as far as grape growing and also winemaking, we've also partnered with the community, and we have a very vibrant local farmers market that we hold outside, pretty much in the vineyard. All of the farmers come and set up every Saturday morning during the season, and people come and buy their fresh vegetables, their fresh fruits, local cheeses made from a goat farm in Mojave, and of course then they come in here and we help them select a wine to go with their farm produce. And each year we usually do a farm to fork dinner, which is where we set up in the vineyard a dinner where all of the everything that comes to the table has come from one of our local growers, and we do wine pairings for those different dishes, and also use local chefs to prepare those dishes. So we really try to help promote farming in our area. We're also very fortunate that we have a nice park area with a gazebo, and many people come here to get married or renew their vows. It's a really nice setting right nestled out in the vineyard.
The last stop on this wine trail is the Sycamore Ranch Vineyard, about 70 miles further southeast, situated in a canyon in the mountain community of Crestline.
Well, Crestline is I think a very unique mountain community, San Bernardino Mountains. This property is at about 4,500 feet in elevation above sea level, and it ranges up to about 6,000, a little bit lower than Lake Arrowhead. This area benefits from kind of the desert climate coming up on the backside, so there's a lot of days that it'll be foggy and misty in Crestline, and it's sunny and bright out here in Dark Canyon. As far as people here, lovely community. I'd say it's a real mix of white collar, blue collar, working people who just enjoy living out in the woods.
A landscape architect by trade, Richard started the vineyard after a bark beetle infestation devastated most of the trees on his property.
So this is a raw piece of land. The pines had died. I have a great part about living in a rural community. There's a lot of people that have heavy equipment. I had a neighbor with a small dozer who came in and we terraced all of these, and then we added in the decomposed granite, the trellis systems, the irrigation system. Then lastly, planted the vines bare root in 2007. So they've had 7 years of growth on them, and we expect a really good crop on them this year.
Losing the trees may have been a tragedy, but ultimately it led to the fulfillment of Richard and his wife Elizabeth's wildest dreams.
We had this addition we were doing in our house, and I thought how great it would be to look down on a vineyard, kind of a romantic thing my wife and I have always loved, doing wine tasting and wine country traveling. I kind of researched it a little bit, and I thought that this climate was close to the Sierra Foothill area, and they're really well known for Zinfandels and Syrah. So we purchased bare root vines and terraced this area, took out the stumps, added in the Zinfandel and some Syrah that you see here.
Richard soon learned that there's a lot of work involved when it comes to growing world-class grapes.
I kind of hang out around here with my clippers because there's always a lot to do. A few things that you can see here, they're all irrigated with a drip irrigation system, so we can individually control that. These are all trellised. There's a cordon system, training system, meaning we have two big arms that have spurs coming off that are trained on wires. And this time of year, they just grow like gangbusters. I think that these will probably put on about 4 inches a day. So it's a real challenge as far as just coming and tucking things in. And then also this time of year, we need to come in and actually thin out some of these because there's just too much. And even the flowers here, or the fruit, so you can see these have just set. And what we try to get here, because we're at high elevation, is to leave one cluster per cane, and then we get really good ripening. And I found that if the first few years I did it, I left on a lot because I thought, oh, I want a lot of wine, but it really wasn't that great. So, you know, that old adage about pruning back and improving the quality is really, really true.
The Crumweeds soon formed a wine club consisting of many of their friends and neighbors who not only buy the wine, but enthusiastically volunteer.
There's a lot of work to do in the vineyard. There are days where we'll be out here picking or thinning fruit and leaf pulling and all the people that just want to come over and help. But the main activities are when we go and buy the fruit, because not all the fruit comes from this vineyard. We buy a lot from Paso Robles and also San Ynez Valley. So we'll bring that up. They will help to crush and destem. When that's done finishing fermenting, which is about a week or so later, they will all come back and help with the pressing and transportation transferring the wine for the gross lees to settle out. And then a month or so later, they're back again helping to transfer all that wine into the barrels. And then the last step is a year to 2 years later, taking it from the barrels and doing bottling and labeling. And so everybody gets very involved and brings appetizers and food and drink, and we just have a great time.
At present, the wine is exclusive to members only.
I think it's really important for the people that invested in the wine and in the group that they get a chance to try it all along that stage, from picking it all the way to when it's fermented, when it looks really like something you would not drink, to trying it even 3 months later where it's actually turned into wine and is quite delicious.
However, Richard and Elizabeth hope to go public in a couple of years.
Our plan is to do about 350 cases to 500 cases a year. And that would be in production every year, about 12 barrels, 60-gallon barrels, so about 24 altogether for 350. The process to do that starts out at 350, hit up the small wine festivals, and do tastings by appointment here.
In the meantime, the wine club members still all agree that Sycamore Ranch Vineyards wine compares to, if not surpasses, any wine they've ever tasted. And Richard and Elizabeth are truly enjoying the fruits of their labor.
It's good.
If you'd like to find out more about this episode's wineries, please log on to any of these websites. And if you know of a special winery you feel we should feature on Wine Trails, please contact us at info@winetrailsofamerica.com.